Well, there were many. It was not only myself. We met in my living room, and we came up with how much we needed for the budget. And all of us pledged money. And it was almost 18 months before the legislature met. We were able to succeed thanks to Jim Rogers, the city of Henderson, Mayor Gibson at that time, and it really came together with a lot of support.
I recall when we established the foundation and we needed a chair, and concluding that I was going to recruit someone, and I did. And I was thrilled with the way Jim Rogers, supported the institution and the way that he supported it after he became chancellor. That wasn't by chance. That was something that needed to happen, and we were all on the right course. I watched Bill Martin and Glenn Christensen and others who have been instrumental in helping us really bring an extension of their relationships and an extension of their associations to the support of the State College. And then all of these folks who've been there from the very beginning. We had one of the industrial complex, if I'm right about this, I think it was Kerr McGee. We had Kerr McGee step up early on and provide a small little executive campus so that we had executive offices for Dr. Moore and those who worked with him. We had an offer from the Landville Company to just deed us certain property there in the proximity of Boulder Highway and Lake Mead. We found the federal legislators incredibly supportive, and when we worked principally with Senator Reed's office, but we worked with all of the members of the Nevada delegation in Washington, D.C. at the time to secure the grant of land for the campus. They were all incredibly supportive.
I think the first person I ever talked with about the Nevada State College was Dorothy Gallagher. Now, Dorothy and I have been friends since, I believe, about 1981, when we both went on the board of Nevada National Bank. But Dorothy came to me and said, even though she lived in Elko and she, was a northerner, that she really believed in the State College and that we needed to do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't remember the names of all of the group that she got together, but it got pushed. And finally, it's just as though it went over a hump, because it was all uphill until then. And then everybody seemed to think, this is a pretty damn good idea.
One of our largest investments at Station Casinos was in Henderson. I was the chief financial officer, and one day our CEO, Frank Fertitta III, and I got a phone call, and the mayor, Mayor Gibson, came over with Brian Greenspun, who was our partner at the Green Valley Ranch. So they came over and they talked with us about this new institution that they wanted to build, and oh, by the way, they needed some money. They needed like $250,000. So it really didn't take us very long to make that decision. We realized that we were the largest employer in Henderson. We had the largest investment there. The mayor and the city council have been always very supportive, and we had a partner here asking us to help, so we were very happy to do that. Well, then Brian Greenspun said to Frank, Frank, I'd really like to see you on the foundation board. And Frank said, well, I really don't do boards, but Glenn will do it. So that's really how I got involved. I had no idea that when I walked into that meeting that I'd ultimately end up on the board, and it's been a 10-year ride for me too. It's been a lot of fun.
I do recall as well, just by chance actually, being in Northern Nevada with my family in January before the 2001 session, and I got a call from the governor's office, and it was governor's chief of staff called and said, by chance are you in Northern Nevada? I said, it's lucky, but yes I am. And she said, well, can you come speak with Governor Guinn about the budget? So certainly, we spent some time with Governor Guinn that evening and sort of solidified the original budget for the Nevada State College. And at the time, didn't know what was ahead of us. And here we are, 11 years hence and almost 12 years later, and seeing the growth is something very proud, to be very proud of. And I have to credit Governor Guinn a lot as well for bucking the trends of the time to actually insert it into his executive budget.
I've seen so many things that he has done for people that nobody knows about. And he doesn't want them to know about it. That came from the heart. But his legacy is likely to be, his public legacy, is likely to be the tremendous effect and direction he had on higher education. He wanted to see things done that hadn't been done before, that were the right things to do.
Well, he wanted every student to have the opportunity to go to school and get a higher education. He thought that in his situation, education was a way to get out of the situation he was in. And he was one of the fortunate ones because he did receive a scholarship to play football at USC. And he always said, someday, I hope I'm in a position that I could make a difference in the student's life and give them the opportunity to get an education, not ever thinking that he would ever be in this position, which he was.
Well, it had become a little more than a glimmer when I arrived. There were some of those kind of visionary people of which you speak that had already gotten the idea and done a lot of calls with regents and things like that. So I arrived after the formation of the idea of this Henderson College. So they asked me to join, and I did join. But I never realized what the attraction was until we interviewed for a president. And we had a number of people apply for the job. And when they said, why would you take a job with a college that isn't even open yet? And all of them gave the exact same answer. The opportunity to build something from scratch, a whole culture, a curriculum, a spirit, right from scratch. And it wasn't until I sat in on those interviews that I went, wow, that was really it. The attraction was to build something from scratch. And by the way, you look at all the great institutions of the world, the only ones that have lasted any time are universities and colleges.
And then magic happened. And I was chair of the search committee, and we had a number of candidates, but only one stood out. Dr. Fred Mariansky from Connecticut. And he stood out for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason was this quiet demure, the way he handled himself. And he had the background, both academically and administratively, to really help us. He's the one that took us from maybe a success of a 7 struggling to a 10 plus. And that's really when we moved. The issue wasn't whether we were going to be a success, was when we were going to get there. Fred took us there.
And that's why Nevada State's so important in the equation, because you've got faculty members and you've got staff that are excited to be there. They want to see these kids accomplish degrees and move on and do something in their lives. We need to continue to add resources so that these kids can be successful.
Oh, I remember Fred Mariansky. As you know, we sadly lost Fred, but when Fred was in the hospital, Fred was so touched and moved that so many of the nurses there were Nevada State College graduates. And I think that is a profound example of the role that Nevada State plays. When I talk to individuals through the city and they talk about teachers, for example, who have come from Nevada State and are doing so well in the Clark County School District and have added so much, I think that's another profound example. You look at the student body at Nevada State College really is a unique student body. And they come from all sorts of backgrounds and they have different objectives and different views and different goals in their life. But what Nevada State College offers them is a place for them, I think, to articulate what they want in their life. I think it allows them to visualize what they want to be. Nevada State College will continue to grow and continue to evolve as we look forward and as we try to fine-tune the mission.
We hope Nevada State College will stay on the same track it's been on for the past 10 years and take that forward, because it's about quality. It's not so much about quantity and rushing to the finish line. It's about growing with quality programs so that the community can really benefit from it and the students who go there. And we think that the teaching program is probably what's most attractive to us. Is we want to make sure that the teachers who are joining the ranks here in Southern Nevada are not just highly qualified, but they're passionate and they care and they understand their commitment to what these children need. And we just believe that that kind of investment, we felt it was probably one of the smartest investments, to look at Nevada State College and say, if they can focus on providing great quality teachers in our community, then we're in.
Well, you know, the college is really placed in a great location as far as the city is concerned, because coming over the hill from Boulder City and our southern entrance, here will be this great 500-acre campus, and when that's completely built out, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really for a breathtaking view for people that are not only residents of the community, but also for people who are traveling. They'll look at that and wonder what's going on with that. And the way we have the thing planned, you know, with we call it affectionately the Hershey's Kiss, where we'll have some commercial flavor along with, you know, some retail and professional things. It really will give you that feeling of, you know, as we're trying to say, we're a place to call home. So I think it'll be great when that thing is built out in the southern borders of our community, to have that place known as, you know, the college.